Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Corporal, bringing you a an interesting video. This technically would be a Magic Hour video, but I'm not going to label it as that because nobody got the joke. But anyway, so, and also, I kind of think this is an important video, so I kind of want the algorithm more or less to see it. So, this video, we're talking about ratios for army building. So, I by the book, there it is in the background. I want this to be like 5 minutes long, so let's do this. Let's get to the point. So I was reorganizing my Blacktron figures, and I wanted them to look all nice, like a proper army, instead of just having a whole bunch of them on this one base plate. And I remembered I had watched a YouTube short, and I wish I remember what it was, but it was about a guy talking about getting Dark Trooper figures at Ollie's, I believe, and they were really cheap, and he said he wants to army build them. He only got one figure, and he said his ratios for army building are are 2, 3, and 6. And I thought those are good ratios. And while I was doing this, I thought, well, that doesn't really work in some instances. And it works for the Dark Trooper for sure, because you don't see that many on screen. But not really for something like a Stormtrooper, when you think about it. And I remembered I watched a G.I. Joe video where the guy said he also army builds, and he kind of goes in the ratios of 3s and 6s as well. And I watched another video where the person goes 6 and 8 for his figures, but a specialist figure like a Night Viper would be in 3 or 4. So I thought, like, okay, what is the perfect amount? And so here I got like different numbers and everything, and you can see in the back a vehicle with 4, and that ties into it. So when we get battle packs and Lego, we get them in 4s, but ideally, let's pretend these are also action figures. So the ratio of having 3 is right here. So when you army build, you either want to have a cool scene like when Palpatine arrives at the Death Star 2 and you see all the troopers lined up, or you want the hallway scene from Rogue One, or you want the Attack of the Clones scene where it's just thousands of them and all that. So, but when you play as a kid, because I remember like as a kid trying to army build, like the Battle Droid 2 packs were pretty good and all that, and you kind of like, you wanted a bunch of basic soldiers to make it look right, and I always would get more and more battle droids. So I'm going to use Starfarer here as the example. Like, when you put them up against like a generic battle pack of 3 stormtroopers and 1 like captain or whatever, it doesn't really look like it's as intimidating. So then it's like, oh, even if it's just 4 of them and 1 specialist, it doesn't look as intimidating. Again, with 6, but 12, and it's like, okay, he might lose. Like 6, it's like, okay, that looks like a formidable force, but you know he's gonna win. But 12, that's completely, it's feasible he might actually lose. So you would think, okay, the perfect ratio is 12. Well, not really, because it depends on the figure. And it's really the key here. If it's a basic grunt, 12 is the perfect number. But if it's like $30, it's like you're not going to afford 12 figures. That's over $300. You might as well go with 3. And that's still like that's $90. Right there. I got lucky and I found the Mandalorian Trooper for $5 at Walmart. I didn't buy it though, but it's possible for me to army build. in a way with my actual ratio and all that. Because certain figures like him, yeah, 4 of them is a good number. But then you got Royal Guards, which I am representing right here. Really all you need is 2, and you need the commander, which could either be like Admiral Veers, Emperor Palpatine, Vader, or Tarkin, and all that. And then you need the captain, who could be a generic captain, which would be these white ones, or you need Captain Rex, which you only need 1 Rex. So it creates this whole dichotomy, and I was like thinking, okay, well, I kind of figured out like the best ratios for like grunts. For every 3 grunts you have to have 1 specialist. Okay, so effectively this is a good ratio right here, and it's perfect for a battle pack. Or you get the specialist in another set, and you got your battle pack. There you go. This looks like a proper 5-man band, a proper squad, and everything. And when you get 6, you have 2. So it's like that. So it looks like, okay, you got your little fighting force, and you got your 2 specialists. And what I mean by specialists, to clarify, I don't mean like a captain. I mean like a special soldier, like an Iron Grenadier, or like a Dark Trooper. Okay, this is a special soldier, not a regular soldier, or a Flame Trooper. That's what I mean. Because you don't want the Flame Troopers to overshadow the regular soldiers. You want a bunch of the regular soldiers, and then a little bit of a Flame Trooper. It's like you want 1 Flame Trooper per squad. That's the idea. So a squad would be like either... I say 6 is a good number for a squad, but you could have 4. But 6 is probably the best number for a squad. And a battalion should be like 12. It should be double that. And it looks more intimidating if you line them up 3 to 4. And all that. They look uniform. They look kind of scary. And same thing with the 6, you could do the same thing. Line them up like that. And they're marching. So it all works out. So for us Lego fans, this is just 3 battle packs and just 1 extra figure. But that's still like almost $75. Darn, it's past 5 minutes. So it's like, okay, for every 3, you need 1 specialist. So by 12, you get 4, which is a battle pack's worth. And all that. So you got your own like special unit. And again, I put commander. You just need 1 commander. That's your Darth Vaders, your Tarkins, and all that. Or your Rex, or your regular captain. You can have a bunch of captains. If you're gonna have like 100 figures, you can have a bunch of captains for each battalion of 12. So I put it on that line. For every 12, you get 1 commander, and all that. But it doesn't really look as good when you have him as part of the battle pack. That's what I mean. And then it's like things like pilots. You just need 1 per ship, 2 for a co-pilot, and 4 if you want to like line them up. Because again, there aren't as many pilots as there are grunts. Maybe in the Empire it's a bit different, because the Empire really does like to use a lot of TIE fighters. But in general, a pilot like G.I. Joe, you have the Rattler, which has 2 seats, the gunner and the pilot. And that's why like 2 is probably the best number for a pilot figure. So there you go. And usually the pilot's just going to be Wild Weasel. So there's that. Crew. Now crew, when I mean by crew, I mean like workers, like the engineers and all that stuff, or those guys on the Death Star bridge. Again, you don't need that many of them. Like 2 per I say like 2 per every 3, and 4 at most. And same thing with workers. You need 1 to 4 workers, and that's why it's like a tank crew like this would be more diverse in what figures you use. You would have your pilot, you would have your engineer, you would have your gunner, you would have your other gunner and everything, depending on the type of tank. So 2 to 4 is like the number you want depending on the tank. I don't believe the gunner also shoots the cannon. I mean, I don't believe the driver also shoots the gun, the cannon. So there you go. So that's really very much it. I just wanted to be a quick video of just the different ratios and how I would do it, and how, like, because you could do it any way you want. You could be like, no, you're not going to count this little section as an army until you get like 1,000 figures, okay? But this is me, like, kind of trying to be budget. Again, it's not, you can't really be budget nowadays when figures cost $30, okay? So it's me trying to be budget, but it's really like, I think this is the best ratios of how to do it, like 3, 4, 6, and 12, and then you pepper in the other figures. That's how I would do it, okay? And also to answer where I've been really busy. I might make a video on that. Well, thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a great night or good day. Bye-bye.